Hi everybody, Merv Neil from Laughter Yoga Australia, which with our monthly podcast guest, and this is in July. We're over the halfway mark already. And what's interesting about our guest this month is they are a guru. Now, I just have to define that guru because I had to look it up. I'm a bit of a stickler for words and I like to get things as correct as I can. And it says a guru is a Sanskrit term, I'll let him explain that, for a spiritual guide, mentor, or master in a specific field. Literally translating to dispeller of darkness, I'm not even sure this guru knew that, it describes a respected figure who guides individuals from ignorance to knowledge and spiritual truth. So we have a legitimate guru. Now I'm going to go one step further. We have a royal guru because I'm not making this up. This is true. His name is Rajguru, which when translated means royal guru. So I'm excited that we have a royal guru in our presence. I've known this guy and I affectionately call him Guru. That's my nickname for him whenever we're talking, but his name is Abhi. And I've known him for some time now. And Abhi, thanks for agreeing to be our guest this month. And I always start with the one question. Tell us about Abhi Rajguru before you walked into my laughter club. Who was that person?
Yeah, for sure. So I remember clearly walking into your laughter club, which was a life-changing experience about 8 years ago. Before that, Abhi was somebody, a corporate salesman. I worked at MYOB, hotshot salesman, if I can say so myself.
You can. Award winning, award winning.
Exactly, exactly. So I won like, 3 times, national awards for, being the best salesman in Australia for 3 years in a row. That's kind of the time peak of my career. I was definitely a bit of a party boy, love socializing, had this lovely apartment on Swanson Street where I could host 100 people and have cool parties.
Oh, no.
And I used to also run this lovely charity social group. Back in those days, it was the first version, Good Karma Social. I used to organize charity events, fun events to bring people together and help people in need. So yeah, being social, having fun, living life. I was thinking about now I want to do something meaningful, and that's kind of where I met you.
Why laughter yoga though? Where did that come into your world?
It was a funny coincidence because I was exploring, a few options because, coming from a very humble backgrounds as an international student, coming from India with nothing, literally, I remember crashing on the floor in early days and parents had given me, 1,000 Aussie dollars as a teenager and said, good luck, son. We hope you survive. So from that,
It sounds like you were kicked out of home. Is that right?
not quite, not quite. Very lovingly, parents put together everything that they had and sent me to Australia. So, so yeah, and my dreams were relatively modest, and I never really thought like many of these dreams. I thought you just dream about them and they never really happen, and they don't really come true. And then finally they did. I'm like, shit, what do I do now? Only being in mid 30s. So yeah, that was the position. Yeah.
How did you find that transition from being very Indian to this culture?
Yeah, there was interesting transition, touch wood, I always was more adaptable and flexible, coming from tough backgrounds in India, I had to learn, how to face challenges, survive, not give up, appreciate what we have. And, I had always been very community minded, family minded, kind of that's the thing in India, coming from a collective society. So yeah, and although it was a bit challenging because, no idea of the world, had never really left India before, and a lot of responsibility because parents could only pay little bit of the uni fees, and that's it. Good luck. And then, but what I really liked that people were really open-minded, and one great tip I was given by one of the guys I met early on. I said, Abhi, if you really want to progress in this country and enjoy life, make sure you integrate. Don't just stay with, all other Indian students. You'll learn so much more. You'll grow so much more by integrating. So that's something I did. And as I tried, all the Australians and all the other people, were so open-minded, and I felt I was welcomed with open arms. So, yeah, was some challenges, but yeah, overall, I was quite grateful and yeah, very happy with the transition. And I think from that, if I do fast forward back to, that coming to, pretty much got everything I wanted, and then what can I do that's meaningful? And then a few people always said, "Hey, Abhi, you have such a great laughter. Like you said, like the best laugh ever. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. And I actually met a friend, Elva, at my yoga studio,
Yes.
and she told me about laughter yoga. I said, oh,
Ah,
she's, going there. She said, hey, Abhi, you should come. You have such a good laughter. So I was like, why not? So I came, and although I had heard of laughter yoga, never made it. I thought it was a little bit too weird until, then I heard about you, that your approach is actually very grounded. So yeah, then I came to you.
wonderful. And that's interesting that you do mention Alva. I might get her on as one of our guests in the not too distant future. She went and had a family and isn't directly involved with laughter yoga anymore, but it was fascinating having a Chinese lawyer and an Indian sales expert walking through the door. I'm going, wow, this is amazing. And something that's hot in the press at the moment is multiculturalism and one culture and all this sort of stuff. And it was fascinating that you the biggest tip you got was just fit in, just
Mm.
fit in. So I think that's a really important message for anyone in Australia. Let's just fit in. Let's not be divided and fit in over there and fit in here. Let's just fit in together. I think that would be a wonderful thing. One thing I want to pick up on is you become very successful very quickly, like $1,000, get out of home, go halfway around the world, good luck. And yet you become very successful as a salesperson. Now, I've been 50 years plus in business, and sales is a particular skill. There's no doubt about it. And you become instantly very, very, well, not instantly, but you become very successful, national award winner, and all that sort of stuff. I have my pen ready, as does everybody else. How do you become an expert salesperson? Please tell us.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple of things I can definitely mention. First, really bring all of your presence. Actually, first I learned mindfulness just to be a better salesman. So very important thing is to be fully present. That's
Right.
the first step. Second, listen. Ask great questions and listen. You really want to know the person on the other side. For me, sales is never, it's basically, it's just about understanding a person really well, their situation, their problems, their opportunity, building trust. So it's all about communication. If you do the communication part well, sales is just a byproduct. So ask great question and listen. Before that, I would also do always a little bit of homework about a person, make sure whoever you're meeting nowadays with LinkedIn and stuff, it's so easy. And in the end of the day, although I worked majority of my career in corporate sales, but it's always personal. Sales is never corporate, it's always personal. So you want to, understand the person, make them feel valued, show that you understood them, so that you see them, show that you care about them as a person. And then, you come across and then you kind of present your solution because you understood the client so well. And always keep a long-term approach in mind. Early on in my career, I started, doing like door-to-door sales and cold call telemarketing with really thick Indian accent. But yeah, keeping the long-term approach, because the more you keep the long-term approach in mind, not the immediate sale, not only you often get that client across, but often you get referrals. So that was really good thing. And finally, you know, learning to be resilient.
Ah,
Not of not I mean, even if there is a fear of rejection, still putting myself out there. And one thing I always remember, every rejection is a step closer to acceptance. It's a step closer to a sale. So it's like, oh, even if every 10 no's, you get average one yes, just keep going, keep going. So that's basically it. And one final thing is always have a mentor, a coach, somebody who can, reflect back, give you some guidance, and even be your own coach. After each sales call, I would take just a little bit of time to say, how did it went? What could I have done better? So reflecting and getting feedback. So yeah, these are basically a few things I can definitely recommend.
Yeah, nice. And I love what you just said. I hope I get it right. Every rejection is a step towards acceptance. I love that. I've never heard it put in that way before. And sales is emotional. You know, it's
Yeah.
based on how do you feel, not about the product, but the person. I have not bought anything off a person that I don't like. You know,
Right,
we
right.
just don't do it. So it starts with the person being likable. And you are one of the most likable people I've ever come across because you're
Oh,
always
bless
laughing and
you.
you're always happy. And what is it? Even Dr. Kataria mentioned that part of laughter yoga, why it works so well, was it started in India because the Indians just love to laugh and they love trying all this stuff. Why? What is it about the culture, Guru, that is something about the Indianness? Whenever I get an Indian walk into any of my laughter sessions, I'm going, oh, this is going to be so good. What is it?
I feel it's a combination of things. One, because being a more of a collective society, we always more often get each other's support, and there is slightly less fear of rejection or what people would think of me. So I think that's a little bit less because generally, being a closer knit community, you support each other, you accept each other. So I feel that's definitely one thing. And also, it's a big country, a lot of people, so you get used to of, all the weird noises and people doing all sorts of things. So you're like, oh yeah, whatever.
I love that. I
And
love
of
that.
course, and it's a spiritual motherland, right? So anything that has some connection with spirituality, Indians are quite open-minded. And finally, we have some real challenges, I mean, last 10 years, maybe India is economically improving a bit more, but overall, we have some real challenges. So when there are challenges there, all these kind of approaches that are actually helpful, people are very willing to try it. So yeah, I feel these are all the reasons that laughter or other new spiritual modalities, new things are quite popular in India. Mm.
Yeah, cool. Dr. Kataria did say that to me. He said India is the spiritual supermarket of the world. He said you can just walk
Right.
down the street and you can have one of these or one of these or one of these. It was really quite fascinating. My first tour back in 2005 when I attended the international conference. So you came along to my laughter session. What happened then? What got you hooked?
It was really cool. I felt like, wow, I found my thing. I loved you as a facilitator and finds like, oh, you could actually have a very grounded yet fun approach. Otherwise, my perception was like, oh, it's just, group of hippies, being weird. I was like, oh, that's not my thing. But I was like, oh, well, like cool bunch of people, professionals, grounded people, and people came from all background. And I could really see, like within an hour, Marv, I remember that particular first day, it was quite busy. Things were not going so well with work. And yeah, so I was stressed and I was rushing to get there. But wow, literally within 10, 15 minutes, I was like, wow, what's happening? I feel noticeably better. And at the end of the hour, I was like, wow, I feel like a renewed person, like a new person. I'm like, wow, this is great. And I could also see that I was like, ah, this is such a effective way to, be happy. And, often people just want a quick result because as I was exploring something like mindfulness and meditation and stuff, it takes a long time before seeing noticeable result. So what I loved about laughter, brought people together. It was something fun to do, not anything serious, like many other spiritual things. And you got very quick results. So yeah, I was like, yep, this is my thing. I love it.
Cool. And you did have a great laugh and a great presence and all of those things to make a good leader. I saw that in you from day one. And as soon as you come back the second time, I'm going, oh, I've got something quite special here, which I did with Alva as well, too. And the two of you were the next generation of people coming through. So I was very excited. And whenever I needed a support person or someone to fill in, it was yourself or Alvin. And I had absolute faith and confidence in the both of you. You found laughter yoga. Things were going well. National salesperson, and then something happened, and you gave up your job and you decided to travel. Tell us about that moment in your life.
Yeah, for sure. It was really a fascinating time period. I was exploring and I trained with you to become a laughter yoga teacher, started doing some laughter workshops. It was really nice and I was enjoying it. But also what I found, and I wanted to do something meaningful and contribute, and this is, well before COVID, 2018, early 2019. What I found that many people would not even try laughter yoga because it sounded a little bit weird, or after one time, people would not come back. So my idea of actually helping people, although I was really convinced, it's like, maybe I need something more, maybe meditation. So I was exploring that, and then when I went to India over Christmas holidays, I finally did a 10-day silent meditation retreat, a Vipassana meditation retreat. That was really powerful. I was already, I came from a spiritual family in India. I had practiced for a good couple of years by then. But yeah, just that 10 days of silence, what I physically experienced was like literally out of this world. And I was like, wow, and it was a very pragmatic approach. There was nothing like, woo woo as such. I was like, wow, this is so practical, so pragmatic, so grounded. So yeah, that was really powerful, and I met a couple of amazing spiritual leaders that I would really look up to. So then I was like, okay, I want to take a sabbatical, and yeah, so went off and had a great experience for that 1 year, and that was when COVID had just started.
Ah,
And I started to do some of my fundraising work, teaching my mindfulness, all of that, and came back just for 6 months in between. But by that time, I was like, wow, with meditation, laughter yoga, bringing community together, all the fundraising stuff, I was like, man, I could do so much more meaningful work. So that's why, I decided to leave. Some people say it was so suddenly, but it was a well thought out decision to, find something really meaningful, magical, although, it was a very high risk approach. I had a dream life pretty much. So, yeah, but I was like, maybe there is something more. So let's, jump into the unknown.
and you started to practice and learn and be taught by the gurus overseas. Um, what makes a meditation guru?
For me, I can definitely look at two of my gurus. And also, by the way, to be honest, even for them or definitely for myself, I never use the word guru because it really puts a person, on a pedestal.
Yep.
But I feel what makes somebody a really skillful meditation teacher, with both of my teacher, I can see that is really how they live themselves and not in a meditation setting. I mean, look, many people could guide a lovely meditation session, but that doesn't mean much, But if I see how a person lives a daily life, when they're not meditating, when they're not teaching, that's when you really know. So even my teacher in Thailand, whose monastery where I was based at a lot in the last 5 years, absolutely loved his approach. He would run a kid shelter, and he take a very open approach to understanding each person. So a guru would be really, I mean, you already defined it so well, dispeller of darkness, um, but a guide, if you want to make it more simple, accessible, a guide, a skillful guide. So somebody who could understand the person on the other side and understand what's going on for them, asking them right questions, and also even sometimes without asking, I can see with both of my teacher, especially my main teacher from Thailand, it's like, wow, like so often he just knows, like even I can't articulate so well because, and I asked him, I was like, hey, are you a mind reader? And he would laugh. He would
I,
laugh.
I was thinking just that. Is this person the number one salesperson in the world?
So funny. And yeah, he would say, actually, no, Abhi, but the more he understands his own mind and feelings, the nature of mind and nature of feelings. I said, hey, Abhi, actually, the nature of mind and nature of feelings is kind of similar across all people, the whole mind, body, and feelings connection. So the more you understand that within you, more and more you can see that in front of you. So I was like, this is really interesting. So yeah, it's somebody who can uh, fully understand a person, whether it's through asking questions or, by feeling them, sensing them. That's the word we could use. And then
so,
giving a
so,
personalized guidance at what are the real pain points and what language they speak. So explaining them in their language and giving them practices in a way that works for them. That's what would make a very skillful teacher or guru.
there's a spiritual meaning. I just glanced at my screen there. There's a spiritual meaning. It says in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Sikhism, a guru is much more than a classroom teacher. They are revered as a spiritual master who has attained self realization and helps disciples in their spiritual evolution. So I thought that was fascinating about what you're saying. So this call it insight, intuition, wisdom, understanding, self realization. Let's go to self realization is obtained through meditation.
For me, and by the way, I'm definitely not a guru by any means, but self-realization is really, uh, I feel it's all about understanding yourself.
Okay.
And in a way, we can roughly compare it to physical fitness. The more and
Ah,
more we exercise, we become fitter, we know our body better and better. So for me, self-realization, or even that's a big word, if we make it more relatable, like self-understanding, it's almost like, we're all driving this car, but imagine like we never read a driver's manual. We never read the instruction manual. We don't really know, am I a manual car or automatic car? Where is my brake? Where is my accelerator? When should I put oil in? We can't hear something is about to break down, let's kind of refine and readjust. So for me, the goal is self-understanding, and meditation is a tool for self-understanding. So the more and more we meditate, my background has been Vipassana, so more inspired by Buddha's teaching. Not really Buddhist from a religious point of view, very kind of secular and universal, but has a very pragmatic approach, and it's just simply awareness of body, awareness of feelings, and awareness of mind. So so-called self, roughly we can say has these three components when we break it down: body, feelings, and mind. So yeah, basically just understanding that. And the more and more we understand, we can see more. It's like seeing reality, Vipassana, our practice is often translated as seeing reality in slow motion or in high definition. I don't know if you've seen the movie Matrix, where there's a famous
I know of it. I know of
you
it.
know of it, right, right. But the famous scene where bad guys shoot bullets at Keanu Reeves, but he can see the bullets in such slow motion, high definition, so he can easily move and
Mm.
dodge the bullets. Same thing, better we understand our body, mind, and feelings, we can see all the bullets coming at us, whether it be from our own mind or from other people's words and action. We can see them coming in a slower motion, higher definition, and then move across. So yeah, this is the whole point, create some space between any stimulus input coming in rather than blindly reacting. We just have little space in between to choose our response wisely. So this is basically the whole process of self-understanding, and it's as we go through, it's almost like on a fitness journey. As we go through step by step, find maybe a right coach, good technique, maybe a nice supportive community. Step by step, we become fitter, fitter, and fitter, and then some people could choose to participate in Olympics or whatever, and maybe even become self-realized. That might be ultimate goal. But I feel for nearly everybody it would be so useful to be on this journey of fitness, but fitness for the wisdom, or mind fitness, if you really want to call it that. So yeah, for me it's all about that.
Everybody, including myself, is out there going, but we don't have time to stop.
Sure,
What's your answer to that?
for sure. My answer to that is mindfulness in action.
Ah,
Can you be aware of seeing me? Can you hear this noise? Can you feel your feet touching the ground? Or can you feel your hands touching each other? So for me, the best way is awareness of your five senses. So being aware of, even when you're doing your work, or even looking at computer, just maybe once an hour, what am I aware of now? You know, am I aware of seeing? Or what am I aware of now? Hearing. Or, my feet touching the ground. So like that, or even when you're walking anywhere from A to B, even to kitchen and back, just being aware. So we use this particular technique, naming technique. So to keep us grounded always, what's happening right now? Just in a one word, I'm aware of walking, or I'm aware of hearing, I'm aware of thinking. So don't need to change anything, and don't even really need to stop necessarily. Just every hour or two, quick 1 second of awareness. What am I aware of now? So this kind of mindfulness in action, we can call it anywhere, anytime meditation. I think this one helps everyone.
wonderful advice. And at the end of a laughter session, we have a little grounding exercise, a little meditation exercise. I've been working hard on that for many years to get it right or get it done well. It's still a work in progress. But whenever you do it, whenever you come to my online laughter session, whenever you do it, I just go, oh wow, this is amazing. So we could talk about how amazing you are, but we still have 5 minutes left. So I'm just going to go into my little space here. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to enjoy the next 5 minutes of you running us through a little grounding exercise, please.
Yes, for sure. Okay. So let's find a comfortable seat. See if we can feel our feet touching the ground. Can feel our back. And let's enjoy these few minutes of self-connection. Let's start with few mindful breaths. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. The easiest way to be in the present moment is feel your body, because body is always in the present moment. Let's briefly practice that mindfulness in action. Notice what you can hear. What can you touch? Can you smell? Remember, meditation is never about controlling your mind or not having thoughts. This approach, known as the wisdom meditation, is all about just simply being aware. What is happening right now? No need to control anything, no need to change anything, just being aware. Now I will invite everyone to maybe gently put a hand on your stomach, and we will do a few grounding belly breaths. See if you can feel your stomach rising, going out, and slowly coming back in. Stomach going out and going back in. Out, in. And as you feel this movement of stomach going out and in, maybe give it a gentle label, name it silently in your mind. Out, in, out, in, out. Deep breathing is very relaxing, helps remove a lot of deeply stored stress. And with this naming technique, it keeps you anchored more easily in the present moment. So let's enjoy this belly breathing. Next few breaths. Wonderful. Let's take 3 more breaths together before we finish. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. Wonderful. Take your time slowly in opening your eyes whenever you're ready.
Oh, Guru, you do it every time. You do it every
Thank you. By the way, I really appreciate it, Bob. I can honestly say you are the first person who believed in me, So this really means a lot, So I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for you. So I really appreciate it. Every time you even call me Guru, I was like, that's not the right word, but I wouldn't say that. But okay, thank you. So thank you. It really helped me a lot.
Thank you for that, and thanks for the half hour. That little bit at the end is just absolutely gold. And when we do a laughter session, we're so hyped up and so it's in such a joyful state, and then just to be brought down like that is absolutely fantastic. Abhi, my guru, I'm going to put all your details at the bottom of this. If anybody would like to get in touch with Abhi for anything, any of his social stuff that he does. He's living a wonderful life. He is back now in Australia for good, I believe. He's had his travels and his tours, and he's come back certainly with so much more wisdom and things to share. If anybody would like to get in touch with him, you won't be disappointed. Guru, thank
Great.
you so much, buddy. All right,
Thank
we'll
you so much, Mark.
talk
Really
again soon.
appreciate it.
All right, thanks, mate.
Keep up
Bye
the
bye.
great work. Love it. Thank you, Mark.